Have you ever wondered why some women manage to keep their homes organized and clean, while others constantly struggle with clutter? What if I told you there's a secret behind it, and it's not what you think? It's not about having more free time or being naturally organized. In fact, it's about small daily habits that make all the difference. For years, I've observed women who seem to have a magazine-style home all the time. I've started to notice specific patterns in their behavior, simple things that anyone can do. The amazing thing is that these women don't spend hours organizing. They spend just a few minutes a day following specific methods. If you keep doing the same old things, your home will stay the same. But if you apply these 10 strategies that I'm going to share with you today, in just 2 weeks you'll notice a complete transformation in your home. I'm talking about waking up every day to an organized home, without the stress of looking for things or feeling embarrassed when someone shows up unexpectedly. What you're about to discover today could completely change your relationship with your home. Some of these tips are so simple you'll wonder why you didn't think of them before. Others are secrets that few people know about, but that make a huge difference in the end result. Stay until the end because the last tip is the most powerful of all. Tip 1. The 2-minute rule. Every organized woman follows a fundamental rule that seems insignificant but is actually revolutionary. It's the 2-minute rule, and it solves one of the biggest problems we face at home: the accumulation of small tasks that later become a mountain. The problem is easy to understand. During the day, dozens of small things come up that need to be done. Putting away a piece of clothing, washing a cup, organizing the papers on the table, folding a blanket on the couch. At the time, these tasks seem insignificant, so we put them off until later. But later never comes, and at the end of the day, we have a huge list of things to do. The 2-minute rule works like this. If a task takes 2 minutes or less to do, you do it right away, without exception. As soon as you take off your clothes, you put them away in the right place. If you use a plate, you wash and dry them. If you receive a bill, you put it away in the right place. It may seem silly, but this simple rule eliminates 80% of the daily mess. Imagine your home at the end of the day when you follow this rule. Instead of finding dirty dishes in the sink, clothes strewn about, and papers everywhere, you find everything in its place. You save hours of work on the weekend and live with much less stress. Your mind is at ease because there is no constant mental list of things to do. It's like having an invisible assistant working all day to keep your house in order. Tip 2. The strategic basket system. One of the most important discoveries I've made while observing organized women is that they never leave objects lying around the house. They use a system I call strategic baskets, and it solves a problem that affects almost every home. Objects that end up out of place because they don't have a specific place to go. Think about your home right now. How often do you find glasses, keys, chargers, medicines, important papers, or small objects scattered around? This is because these items don't have a defined home. They move around the house and end up staying where they were last used. The strategic basket system works by placing small organizers in specific spots around the house. One basket in the entryway for keys and glasses, another in the living room for remote controls and chargers, a third in the bedroom for jewelry and personal items. The secret is not just having the baskets, but positioning them exactly where you use these items. For example, if you always leave your glasses on the kitchen table when you cook, put a small basket there. If your chargers are always scattered around the room, have a dedicated organizer near the outlets you use the most. When each item has its own specific place, and that place is convenient, putting them away becomes an automatic habit. The result is impressive. You'll never waste time looking for things again. Your home will always look tidy because there will be no loose objects creating visual clutter. And best of all, when other people use these objects, they'll also put them away in the right place because it'll be obvious where everything goes. Tip 3. The night reset technique. There is one moment of the day that separates organized women from the rest. And it's something that happens every night, without exception. It's what I call the nightly reset, a 15-minute routine that ensures you always wake up to an organized home. The problem that this technique solves is fundamental. During the day, No matter how hard we try to keep everything in its place, a mess always naturally appears. Dinner plates, toys scattered around if you have children, clothes from the day, objects that were used and left out of place. If we leave this mess for the next day, it accumulates with the new mess, creating a constant feeling of a messy house. The nighttime reset is a simple routine you do before bed. Start in the kitchen, wash the dinner dishes, wipe down the counters, and get everything ready for breakfast the next day. Then move on to the living room, put away any misplaced items, fold and put away blankets, arrange pillows, and remove anything that doesn't belong there. Finish in your bedroom, prepare tomorrow's clothes, put away today's clothes, and tidy up your nightstand. If you have kids, include a quick walk through their rooms, putting away toys and organizing essentials. It may seem overwhelming at first, but those 15 minutes at night can save you hours of time throughout the week. You wake up every morning to a home that's already organized, which completely improves your mood and energy. Your mornings will be smoother because you don't have to clean up the mess before you start your day. It's like gaining extra time every day, and your home will always look tidy. If you're enjoying these tips, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any new videos. And tell us in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing what city you're from. Now let's move on to the next tip, which is about a mistake that almost everyone makes. Tip 4. The functional zones. Method 1 observation that completely changed the way I organize my home was realizing that organized women don't think in terms of rooms, they think in terms of functional areas. This difference in perspective solves one of the biggest problems with organizing: having things scattered around in places that don't make practical sense. Think about your morning routine. You wake up, go to the bathroom, then go to the kitchen to make coffee, return to the bedroom to get ready, and maybe stop by the living room to get something. During this journey, you need several items: beauty products, clothes, accessories, kitchen utensils. If these items are scattered around the house, you waste time and energy going from one place to another. The functional zone method organizes your home based on your daily activities. Create a morning prep zone that includes everything you need to get ready: hair products, makeup, accessories, even a second toothbrush if needed. Set up a work area with cleaning products, rags, and everything you use to maintain your home. Have a relaxation zone in the living room with blankets, remotes, chargers, and everything you use to relax. The key is to observe your routine for a few days and identify which items you use together and in what sequence. Then group these items in strategic locations. For example, if you always take vitamins after breakfast, keep them near the coffee maker, not in the bathroom. When you organize your home into functional zones, it flows more smoothly. You can do your tasks more efficiently because everything you need is within easy reach. You can reduce the time you spend searching for things and reduce clutter because each item has a logical and practical place. Your home starts to work for you, making your life easier instead of more complicated. Tip 5. The weekly discard strategy. One of the most important secrets I've discovered about organized women is that they don't accumulate unnecessary objects. They follow a strategy I call weekly discarding, and this prevents a problem that affects most homes: the gradual accumulation of things that take up space and create visual clutter. The problem of hoarding is subtle and constant. Every week, new things arrive in our home: mail, purchases, gifts, objects that we received as gifts or bought on impulse. If we don't have a system to counteract this, that is, to remove things from the house, the space will become increasingly cramped and disorganized. The weekly discard strategy is simple but powerful. Choose a day of the week, always the same, to do a quick house check. It can be Sunday afternoon or Saturday morning. The important thing is to create the habit. During this check, which takes no more than 20 minutes, you will look for objects that are not being used or that no longer make sense in your life. Start with your closet. Remove items you haven't worn in months or that no longer fit. Go through the kitchen. Throw out expired food, broken utensils, or items you never use. Go to the living room. Remove old magazines, decorative objects that have lost their meaning, broken electronics. Finish with the bathroom. Expired products, cosmetics you no longer like, expired medicines. The result of this strategy is transformative. Your home always has free space, which makes organizing much easier. You don't feel suffocated by unnecessary objects, and you can find things more easily. In addition, you can donate or sell objects that are in good condition, which creates a great feeling of helping other people. Your home becomes lighter, more functional, and much easier to keep organized. Tip 6. The advanced preparation system. One thing that always strikes me about organized women is that they never seem to be rushing. They follow a system I call pre-planning, and this eliminates one of the biggest causes of stress and mess: last-minute rushing. When we are in a hurry, we do everything haphazardly. We leave clothes scattered around because we don't have time to put them away properly. We leave the house in a mess because we are late. We forget important things because our minds are racing. Haste is the enemy of organization, and preparing in advance is the solution to this problem. The system works by preparing everything you will need for the next day or the following week in advance. The night before, set out the clothes you will wear, pack your bag with everything you will need, and leave important documents in sight if you have appointments. On Sunday, dedicate an hour to preparing for the week. Make a list of appointments, prepare meals that can be frozen, organize materials you will need for work or studies. For example, if you have an important meeting on Tuesday, on Monday night have everything ready: clothes ironed and set aside, bag organized with necessary documents. Even breakfast can be prepared the night before if it is something that takes time to make. This advanced preparation completely transforms your routine. Your mornings are calm because everything is already prepared. You never leave the house forgetting something important because you had time to calmly check everything. Your house stays organized because you don't do anything in a rush. And the best part, you get the feeling of always being in control of the situation, which greatly reduces the stress of your day-to-day life. It's like having a more organized version of yourself, taking care of your future. Tip 7. The neutral environment technique. When observing women who always have impeccable homes, I discovered something interesting. They always keep some rooms neutral, that is, completely free of personal or temporary objects. This technique solves a visual problem that greatly affects the perception of organization: accumulated surfaces. Our mind interprets free surfaces as organization and accumulated surfaces as mess, even if the objects are organized. That's why a table with lots of objects on it always looks disorganized, even if each object has its function. The problem is that we tend to use surfaces as temporary storage. We leave keys on the kitchen table, papers on the living room table, products on the bathroom counter. The neutral environment technique establishes that certain surfaces in the house should always be completely free. Choose the most visible surfaces: the coffee table in the living room, the kitchen counter, the bedside table in the bedroom, the dining table when it is not in use. These surfaces should always be empty, except for one or two decorative objects at most. To keep these surfaces neutral, you need to create specific places to store items that would normally be there. Have a drawer or basket specifically for keys, papers, and small items. Use organizers inside cabinets for items that normally sit on countertops. Make a habit of never leaving anything, even temporarily, on neutral surfaces. The visual effect is impressive. Your home immediately looks more organized and spacious. You feel more at ease because there is no visual clutter creating a sense of clutter. Cleaning is easier because you don't have to remove objects from surfaces to clean. And when you have guests over, the impression is always of a spotless home because the neutral surfaces create an immediate sense of order and care. Tip 8. The frequency organization method. A very common mistake that prevents efficient organization is storing all objects of the same category in the same place, without considering how often they are used. Organized women follow a different method. They organize by frequency of use, and this completely transforms the practicality of everyday life. Think about your closet. You probably have clothes that you wear every week, some that you wear occasionally, and some that you wear rarely, perhaps only on special occasions. If they're all at the same level of access, you'll waste time looking for the pieces you wear the most and end up messing up the others in the process. The frequency organization method divides your belongings into 3 categories: daily use, occasional use, and infrequent use. Daily use items go in the most accessible places: eye level, top drawers, front shelves. Occasional use items go in medium access places: bottom drawers, middle shelves, cabinets that require a little more effort to reach. Rarely used items go in the least accessible places: high shelves, back of cabinets, places that you need to use a ladder or bend down to reach. Apply this to all areas of your home. In the kitchen, pots and pans you use every day go in low, accessible drawers. Cake pans you rarely use can go on high shelves. In the bathroom, everyday items are at eye level, while occasional items go in less accessible drawers. This organization by frequency makes your routine much more efficient. You can quickly find everything you need on a daily basis because it is always in the easiest places to access. It reduces clutter because you don't have to move around several things to get to what you want, and your home is naturally more organized because the most used objects, which are most likely to get misplaced, have very practical places to be stored. Before I move on to the next tip, I want to tell you about something special I prepared for those who want to go beyond this video. It's a complete guide with organization secrets that completely transformed my home and can transform yours too. The link is in the pinned comment, and for a limited time, I'm offering a special discount for channel subscribers. Now let's continue with the next tips, which are some of my favorites. Tip 9, the habit mirror strategy. 1. Fascinating discovery about organized women is that they don't just rely on their own discipline. They use a strategy I call habit mirroring, which involves connecting new organizational habits with activities they already do automatically every day. The problem most people face is trying to create organizational habits from scratch, which requires a lot of willpower and memory. This is why many attempts to get organized fail. We rely on remembering to do new things, and our minds are already occupied with 1,000 other concerns. The habit mirror works like this. You identify actions that you already do automatically and attach a small organization habit to each one. For example, if you always brush your teeth before bed, you can create the habit of organizing the bathroom counter right after. If you always drink coffee in the morning, you can create the habit of organizing the kitchen table while the coffee is brewing. The key is to choose very small organizational habits and connect them to activities that you already do without thinking. After using the bathroom, always take a quick look to make sure everything is in its place. After watching TV, always fold and put away the blanket you were using. After eating, always wash your plate immediately. These small actions connected to existing habits become automatic very quickly. The result is that you develop a routine of organizing without conscious effort. Your home stays organized naturally because you've incorporated small organizing actions into your daily routine. It's not an extra task that you have to remember to do. It's a natural part of what you already do. Within a few weeks, these actions become as automatic as brushing your teeth, and you don't even realize you're doing them, but your home is always in order. Tip 10. The preventive maintenance system. The last tip is perhaps the most important of all because it reveals the secret behind lasting organization. Women who keep their homes organized don't do massive spring cleanings. They follow a system of preventative maintenance that prevents organizational problems from developing. Preventative maintenance is like taking care of your health. It's better to prevent small problems than to have to solve big ones later. In organization, this means dedicating a few minutes a day to keeping everything in place, rather than spending hours on the weekend reorganizing everything. The system consists of dividing your home into zones and dedicating a few minutes a day to each zone. On Monday, 5 minutes in the kitchen checking that everything is in its right place. On Tuesday, 5 minutes in the bedroom organizing the closet and surfaces. On Wednesday, 5 minutes in the living room arranging cushions and putting away objects, and so on. During these maintenance minutes, you don't do any heavy cleaning. You just check that everything is in its right place, put away objects that have been moved, fold clothes that have been left on chairs, and organize papers that have accumulated. These are small adjustments that prevent bigger problems from developing. This preventive maintenance is revolutionary because it transforms organization from a heavy task into something easy and constant. You never have to dedicate an entire day to organizing your home because it never really gets disorganized. Whenever someone visits your home, they find everything in order. You live with less stress because there is no feeling of accumulated clutter. And most importantly, you have much more free time on the weekends because you don't have to spend hours reorganizing everything. These 10 strategies can completely transform your relationship with your home. They're not complicated techniques or require expensive products. They're simple habits that organized women have developed and that anyone can learn. The key is consistency. Choose 2 or 3 of these tips and start applying them today. Remember that organization is not a natural talent. It is a skill that develops with practice. Each small step you take towards a more organized home will make the next step easier. In no time, these habits will become automatic, and you will be surprised at how much more peaceful and efficient your life has become. If this video was useful to you, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel to receive more organization tips. And tell me in the comments which of these strategies you'll start applying first. See you in the next video.